and move forward. And just to go back through that planning, doing, reviewing process over and over again until you get it right, and they're applying the slight edge then, because they're building it, they're doing it, they're reviewing it, and they're adjusting it, and moving forward, and review again, and adjust again. And that's
Boy, you're green, aren't you, Sarah?
Yes, you could say that.
Yes.
You know?
That's excellent. That really appeals to me. Let me ask you, as far as the audios go, when you refer to audios, have you made up your own list of, for instance, which audios and which dates talk about specifically about which things that you can easily refer to when you're talking with people, or do you just send them to the main list and have them look for the information themselves? Or I know you mentioned that you give them particular names of people to look for, but do you get more specific than that?
I do now because a great friend of mine gave me a list just like that that he put together. What I was doing is I had picked out 3 or 4 on blogs that I knew the dates, and I picked out one on a half a dozen different methods. So if they said traffic exchanges, I could say go back to September 27th, 2007. Mm-hmm. Or I say go back to this date or that date, and here's who did it. So I was giving them specific instructions on the first couple, and what one of our mentors did, Rob Kenyon, is he put together a list of all of the blogging sites that are great, blogging audios, all the produced sites, and I asked him for a copy, and he gave it to me. And so now I just say, here are the dates for blogs, and I'll give them the 9 blog audios. Mm-hmm. And back there, and here they are.
Neat.
Hmm? Yep.
Okay, that's great detail to give people an idea of, a lot of specifics on one particular part of the plan there. What, as far as, you mentioned plan, do, and review, is there more than this that goes into the plan, or does the detail on the blogging pretty much cover what your plan covers?
I think the best way to answer that, Richard, is to sort of give people a word picture. So, we could talk about cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Sort of a seemingly innocuous task to most mm-hmm. people, but to the person who's preparing the dinner, in most cases, the mom, just most cases, when everyone says we're going to have dinner at Richard and Dennis's house, and we're going to have 10 people over, well, what does Cheryl do? The very first thing she does is she says, okay, we'll have dinner at, 2 o'clock on Thursday. But once she has that goal established, she goes through the same process we did for the plan. She says, well, I need to have the turkey in the oven at 6 o'clock. I need to be on hand in the kitchen all day to baste it, check the temperature, adjust the oven, put in a thermometer, maybe add some more water, maybe put on tin foil. But she plans to be there with a set of activities to test the process, or the activity, which in this case is heat. If there's too little heat, she'll apply more heat. If there's too much, she'll turn it down. And then what she does is she goes back in her mind and says, okay, if the turkey's going in the oven on Thursday, well, I better make my stuffing on Wednesday. I can't make it at 6 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So then she'll say, well, if I'm making the stuffing on Wednesday, I better go back in and make my pies on Tuesday. And if I'm making pies on Tuesday, I have to go to the store on Monday. I have to go to the store on Monday. Well, I'm going to have to clean the house on Sunday because I can't do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So what she's done by doing that is she's built a plan that gives her the process steps all the way back to the beginning and all the way forward to the end with a review section once she's got it started. So in essence, that really encompasses the planning process. Where am I going? How am I going to get there? And what do I have to do to get there? When do I start? And what kind of preparation or research is needed to get there?
Yeah, well, you got part of that wrong, Sarah.
What part did I get wrong?
Well, Cheryl would actually do the pies and the stuffing the same day. Other than that, you're pretty darn close. So, anyway, let's go on to that. I think that explanation really helps pinpoint exactly how you do plan this thing. Start with where you want to be, and for me, I know in doing things, I've always started from both ends and try to meet in the middle someplace. But yeah, you have to know where you're going to wind up in order to be able to work out the full plan in detail. And then I know, plan, do, and review. Would you talk a bit about the review and how what parameters you're looking at and how do you do that review?
Okay. Well, whenever you make a plan like that, Richard, again, we can go back to the turkey first. Well, we have a recipe for turkey, and the recipe will say, bake it 15 minutes a pound at 350 degrees without stuffing, 20 minutes with stuffing at 350 degrees. So not knowing if my oven is accurate, what are most people going to do? They'll have an oven thermometer. And they'll open the oven, check the temperature, and they'll adjust up to maybe the dial says 360, maybe it says 355, but they want the interior of the oven to be at 350. Well, any business plan is like that. You need to have some sort of quantitative number, and in the case of ebook downloads, you can assign a number as a starting point to the blogging process. And let's suppose you said, well, I want to do 6 downloads a week for my blog. Or 10, doesn't matter, you can pick either number. And let's suppose you pick 10, because you don't like 6. And at the end of 2 weeks, you look and say, well, I planned to get 10. I got 5. That's what I received. So I need to go in there and adjust something up to get to 10. So it really doesn't matter in a case like that, where your starting point is, because you're going to adjust it up or down to get what you want. So if your goal is 6 and you get to 4, you have to increase something by 2.5 times. If your goal is 10 and you get to 4, you increase it by 2.5 times. If your goal is 10 and you get to 5, you increase something by twice. But the point with a plan is when you have that, you can go specifically to the blog and say, well, I listed my activities. I did a blog post a day, and I got 5 ebook downloads. So let's see what happens if I go to 12 blog posts a week. Well, you go to 12 a week, you get a few more downloads, and you go back and say, well, what if I do this? But you know where to go to do it. It's the blog. And again, we know, Richard, that any one of these processes, there's only a certain number, and usually not very large, of variables that we can look at to adjust up or down to get the performance that we want from our plan.
Okay, well, let's go to we've got our ebook downloads now. We have our plan to get our ebook downloads, and now you're getting them, and you're getting back in contact with these guys, and I think as far as the first call you do with people, you're pretty much finding out what it is. What it is that's been their problem, what's really been their stumbling block in network marketing, so you can set up a coaching call with them on how to handle that. Is that pretty accurate?
Very, because once you know what their problem is, you know how to help them. And again, the vision that you and Michael had was mentioned to free is to help people, and it's through helping them that you improve their life and your life. So you have to know what needs to be done, where are they, where's their struggle, and you can then figure out from that what to say on the next coaching call.
Okay, so so now you've got that and you're doing